So how's Vitaly Klitschko looking?
Vladimir.
Vitaly. How's Vitaly Klitschko looking?
Vitaly's not here. Vitaly's mad.
Vitaly's not there.
No, he's not here.
I'm being an investigative journalist. I've got to try. I'm going to try every way I can to find if Vitaly's there or not.
It's all right. Vitaly is washing his socks in Ukraine. He's the mayor.
Okay. All right. Fine. I would have thought that, Vitaly Klitschko would have been used. I mean, clearly, if I was fighting a guy who was a similar height to him, I would use him.
No, Vitaly is retired.
Vitaly's retired?
Yeah.
There's no reason you can use him as sparring partner?
Oh, no, we can't use him as a sparring partner. Too easy.
Yeah, but what about Robert Helenius? You might as well consider him retired as well. But using him as a sparring partner?
Robert Helenius is in a good place. He's still moving well. He's just quick. He's got the height. Yeah. He's just... I don't see... At this point, I'm giving second thoughts about Tyson, Tyson can box, but in my opinion, are we doing an interview?
We're about to do an interview.
Okay, let's do it. Let's start. Come on, let's go, man.
Because I'm here. I mean, I've started talking to you about stuff, so...
Tyson Fury and Huey Fury.
Yes.
If they were 6'3", they'd be ordinary fighters.
Okay.
Their size is what makes them entities in the sport. But if they were 6'3", 6'2", they would be ordinary heavyweight fighters.
But that'd be like saying if Mike Tyson was 6'5", oh come on, you know what we're going here. I mean, that's if. We can't talk about if. We'll talk about what is. And the fact of the matter is, you've got a man that's 6'9" to face on November the 28th.
That could be a plus
or minus.
We're not going to worry about that. We got something for that. We've got something for that. We got something for it.
Well, the fact that you're in camp and you're in camp and you're in camp and you're not coming in the last 5 minutes is a sign to me, having known you for as long as I've known you now, Uncle Bashir, that this camp is a very serious camp. You're not strolling in the last 2 weeks, or you're in camp early, so they need you in camp. So clearly, to me, that tells me that you're taking this man very seriously.
We take every boxer very serious. There's not a boxer we faced that we did not take very serious. We're just not that kind of camp. Vladimir Klitschko is not that kind of guy. He takes the least person very, very serious.
So, in terms of Dillian Whyte being in the camp, because he clearly has been training with Jonathan Banks, how does Jonathan Banks divide his time between Dillian Whyte and Vladimir?
That's for Jonathan Banks to figure out. It's none of my business. I don't concern myself with it.
So what is your role in the camp for this particular fight? Is it the same as usual, just on the outside?
The same as usual, and my eyes, my knowledge, my expertise is the backup for Jonathan Banks. What Jonathan Banks don't see, or what he might miss, I won't miss.
So Robert Helenius, how's he looked in sparring with you guys?
He's providing useful talent, I mean, I don't think that Tyson will be that much more different. I mean, he'll try more things, I believe. He has a quicker jab. But, I know some things about guys like Tyson. I know some things about that. And we'll see in the fight. I just don't. I'm concerned, and I'm not concerned. I'm not overly concerned. I'm concerned quite naturally. It's a title fight, and anything could happen. But I feel that we're in a good place at this point in our training camp.
See, now, I was thinking about this. Somebody asked me a question. I think his name is Dave Holland. And he asked me the question on YouTube. He said to me, Ingram, do you think that the fact that the Fury camp have not had a tall guy to prepare with to fight before, like a warm-up fight before a Klitschko fight, has that worked in their advantage or disadvantage? At first I thought it was a disadvantage. Now looking at it, I think it's pretty much more of an advantage. And the reason why I say this is because, just from my personal opinion, is that you've got less tape to see him fight against a tall man. So you don't know the strengths and weaknesses of a man against a tall man who can actually box pretty good. So if you box someone like a Helenius, if you box somebody like I don't know, somebody who's tall and mobile, you'd have more of an eye to say, okay, we can plan about this. But what if you really got to work with? You've got a whole bunch of smaller heavyweights, Hamer, Chisora. You haven't got many tall heavyweights that you could put, say Tyson Fury's been in with, Joey Abel. You haven't got many heavyweights that are tall that Tyson Fury's fought with as a pro. So, you're going to go back to Nascimento? So, in terms
Tyson, like I said, you don't underestimate anybody, especially a guy that has knowledge of the sport.
Yes.
Tyson has a pretty good knowledge of the sport. Mm-hmm. He trains pretty well. Like I said, he's a good all-around fighter. Not a great all-around fighter, but a good all-around fighter.
But all you need to be is be in the right place at the right time and throw the right punch.
The people that he's fought leaves something to be desired. I don't see where he's had. I think that him missing the opportunity to fight the big guy, the big Ukrainian guy, Ustinov. That was a missed opportunity. I think that he should have took that fight, and then he could be in a better place for Klitschko.
You say that, but that would also have given you guys a great opportunity to see what Fury was like against another big man.
Well,
strategically, because what tape are you going to look at?
We're not worried about what he's going to do. Fury's got to worry about what we're going to do, because Fury's not going to show us anything different from what we haven't seen. In the years that I've been with Vladimir Klitschko, Fury's not going to show us. They can come up with a plan all they want.
But I might disagree with you. I might disagree with you there, because you've got a guy there who's more agile than Vac. That's a start.
Mm-hmm.
He's more agile than Vac. He'll probably show more guts than Tony Thompson.
Yeah.
Younger. Arguably more
He's agile.
More powerful than Thompson.
Still, he's agile. And he better be agile. He's going to have to be agile, because if not, he'll be looking up at the lights. So he's got to be agile. So we expect that. This is a professional training camp. We've been at this a long time. We don't leave no stone unturned. He's agile. He's quick. But let's see if he can do that over 12 rounds with heat on him. Let's see how he handles that heat. You know what I'm saying? And that's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to be an agile individual.
Now, looking at the Klitschko makeup, his best, Klitschko at his very best is him being able to work behind the jab and be able to do what he wants when he wants. That is Klitschko, when you allow him to do what he wants. Klitschko is most uncomfortable when you're up close on him, and he's most uncomfortable. Another thing of Klitschko is most uncomfortable when you take him out of a rhythm. He likes rhythms. That's the Klitschko story, and the whole Emmanuel Stewart thing, getting him tucking his chin in and boxing behind that jab and using that thunderous right hand, has been his bread and butter, clearly. But if we go back to even the Bright Jennings fight, when Jennings started backing him up, his eyes started widening up again, like the same old, the old, I'm not in control of this situation here. So those things were still there, but Jennings was unable to really capitalise on the moment there.
Yeah, because Jennings was trying to box and stay safe. I've been around this thing long enough to know when a guy is trying to stay safe. He did not come into Vladimir Klitschko with a Joe Frazier, Evander Holyfield mentality. He did not put it all on the line. And Jennings, no, he didn't. He's probably kicking himself in the behind right now, thinking that I should have done more. but he did not go all out to try to establish himself in that fight because he was too busy trying to stay safe. It seems to me that he was just satisfied with going the distance and not winning the title. So yeah, he came forward, but he didn't come forward in a way where he would have committed himself, where he could have gotten counted too. So he boxed, but he boxed to stay safe more so than he just boxed to win the title.
The other thing I noticed about the champion, body shots. This fight in particular, normally Vladimir does the 12 rounds, bouncing, bam, 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 do it. But this time, because Jennings was able to land good body shots, and it seemed Klitschko looked like he was actually slowing down in this fight. Is age a factor in this fight?
Age is a factor in any fight. And it doesn't matter the age of the fighter. It matters the mileage of the fighter. That's what's more so important as opposed to age, the mileage that's on the fighter. What punishment the fighter has taken over his duration of being in the ring. So I'm thinking that, hey, age is always a factor. But we're talking about age and what the fighter has taken, the pain and suffering and, the different injuries he's had,
But this is a 39-year-old or 39-year-old fighter. I don't want to put more age on Klitschko. 39 or 40?
39.
Right, a 39-year-old. Now, we've spoken here before, and we're going to use another fighter example, Bernard Hopkins. Surely you want to make a 39-year-old use his legs. You want to make the older man move more. You don't want him being able to fight at his own pace, clearly.
Okay. And?
Well, I'm just saying that,
the same could be said for a guy that's 27 but 6'9". He doesn't want to use his legs either.
Doesn't need it to.
Yes, he will. Once he gets hit, he'll have to use them. Once he gets hit, he'll have to use his legs.
I know you always talk about the outgoing. You're very good to talking to me and letting me know about Vladimir throwing the outgoing. But what about the incoming? Let's talk about the incoming, because there's a guy that's going to be throwing some incoming shot. There's incoming shots coming in as well. And Vladimir's in a position with a guy.
As I said before.
Yes.
Tyson Fury is a good fighter, but he has yet to be a great fighter. And his incoming won't be any different from the other guys who came before him.
Well, I may disagree with you there, and here we'll break it down. Jennings, height and reach. Jennings had the longer reach against Klitschko, if I'm right, by 2 inches. Correct? But not the height.
I don't know. I didn't concern myself with the reach.
Well, of course you've got to concern yourself with the reach. Because if a guy's got a longer reach than you, then clearly that means that he's got more of a chance of touching your whiskers.
As Mike Tyson said, it doesn't make a difference who has the longer or shorter reach. He said the difference is who strikes first and who is more accurate with the jab. And as you see, Mike Tyson out-jabbed 90% of the guys he boxed. He out-jabbed them. And they had 5, 6, 7 inches on them. So it doesn't make a difference about the reach so much. It makes the difference with the accuracy of the jab.
But then I could come back and say everyone's got a plan until they get hit. And Klitschko's
you said it right. Yeah, you said it right.
Klitschko's no exception to the rule here. Now, I have to
say...
But
let me say this here. But Klitschko has been the champ for how long?
All good things come to an end.
What'd you say?
All good things come to an end.
Yeah. But when?
Joe Louis had a long run, didn't he?
When?
November 28th,
We've been
possibly.
here.
November
Listen,
28th, possibly.
We possibly. We've been talking about possibly for how long now? 8 years? 9 years? I mean, if you ever win, I don't think you know how to act if you ever win. We've been talking about possibly for 8, 9 years. Jeez, man, you got to. I mean, you and I have been talking about tonight. This time it could possibly be it. How many times will we go through this possibly? Your possibly is worn out. You're gonna have to get a new possibly. Because everyone that you said could possibly do it possibly went out of there.
Hey, listen. It's possibility. The possibility is a man's got two hands, he's got two fists, and a brain and a heart.
Yeah.
Listen,
But like I said, you know, Tyson's chances is slim and none. Slim is out of town.
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. You know, I said to you, I didn't see Klitschko knocking Jennings out. I said to you that, and he didn't do it. And significantly, Jennings and Hay were two fighters that were elusive and two fighters that could move. Movement.
So you said that. Say what?
I'm saying movement is what gives Vladimir issues. Now, don't get me wrong. Vladimir is a great champion.
I'm not concerned.
Here's another thing I want to throw at you. Just you know, the whole control thing. Vladimir Klitschko, dominant champion he's been, and we give him credit for that. And I know I could come across as a person that hates Klitschko. It's not that, but I could quite simply sit here and just say, yeah, yes, Uncle Bashir, you're correct, you're right, and you are right, and you're absolutely correct, and we would have no banter between us, so I've got to kind of bring some opposition up. So, my defence for this now is Vladimir Klitschko, the dominant champion that he is, has been told that he's getting old. And Tyson pointed out he was getting old. So what does Vladimir go and do as the controlling champion he is? He reshaves the sides of his hair where the grey is. To me, psychologically, it says to me that you actually care about what the challenger says about you. So you go and shave your sides off. Now to me, you shouldn't care about things like that if you're so in control. But because you're so much in control and don't want to give a fighter that little bit of advantage, you shave the sides off. What do you think about that?
He shaved the sides off because he wanted to be quicker.
Come on, Uncle. You gotta come better than that. You gotta come better than that.
He's carrying too much weight, so he took the sides off. You know?
No, I don't buy that one. You see, the thing is, boxing, as you know, is psychological as well. This is not just a physical fight, it's a psychological fight as well. Okay, talk to me about the whole Batman thing. Obviously, you were at the press conference. Did you hear about it in camp?
I saw it.
Oh, and what did you think? Have you ever seen a press conference like that before?
I think that's a fruitless effort. Vladimir Klitschko has seen every act over these years. He's seen every act, and it's just another act that go on the files. That's all. Didn't mean nothing.
It didn't mean nothing.
Didn't mean a single thing. Entertainment, you know. Entertainment, wasted energy, you know, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't concern us. You know, we're concerned about that night in that ring, and when Batman and Robert and all those other guys are going to be out in the audience, they'll have to be in the ring.
Now, I want to answer a question. It's a conspiracy theorist question, and I'll go throw it out there while I have the opportunity and you know, the honour to be able to speak with you. A fighter called Adam Machard. Did Klitschko ever pull him into camp as well?
Adam Machard?
Yes.
Don't know him.
Okay, well, obviously then he wasn't brought into camp, or you're not telling me.
No, don't know him.
Because Dave Allen was meant to fight this guy called Adam Machard, pulled out 3 days' notice. He's about 6'7", 6'8", tall, heavyweight.
What about him?
So I thought maybe Klitschko may have pulled him into camp and just used him as a sparring.
No, don't know him.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't know him.
Don't know, so he's put it to one side. So, you've used Hellenius. Anybody else that you've brought into camp?
We got a couple of big guys here. None of any notoriety. No, none of any notoriety. I mean, Helena's quite naturally, and Richard Towers. Those are the most notable guys.
Yeah.
that we have in the camp.
So what do you think? What do you think these guys bring to the camp for you? I mean, Richard Towers and Helenius, both guys actually not being pretty active of recent times. So what can they bring to the table in terms of, because they're not active. So in terms of hunger and desire, I couldn't question either one's hunger and desire because I don't know. One was beaten by Lucas.
Well,
Brown.
we got them there for things that are obvious. Their height,
reach, yes,
and their physical stature, and their punching power. These guys are hard punchers. These guys are hard punchers. Richard Towers is definitely a hard puncher. Helenius, I don't know yet. Because I haven't worked any pads or anything with him. But Richard Towers is definitely a hard puncher. And then we have another young man here. That's 6'10".
6'10".
Yeah, he's 6'10". And 280 pounds. But he's a pretty good shape, 280 pounds. Young man, And, we got a couple of tall guys, a couple of big tall guys. Vladimir knows how to make adjustment. He knows how to box. So, it's going to be a boxing match. I expect it's going to be a boxing match. Perhaps the first 4 or 5 rounds, and then things should start heating up around 4. Round 4, round 5. Things going to really start heating up.
So where do you see this fight going in the end for you in terms of points or not?
I see that Vladimir, I think that he can, because of his experience, I think that he can stop Tyson late in the fight. I think that he can stop him late in the fight. And I'm going to tell you why after the fight. Just make note of that I'll tell you why he got stopped. What I think will happen to cause him to be stopped.
Do you think that the fight, how do you think the first fight would have scheduled back in, last weekend? How do you think that fight would have gone compared to this fight? Was there any much difference?
What fight?
Because you guys were scheduled to fight last week, wasn't it? Or
last month. The 24th.
Yeah.
October.
Yeah. So do you think that fight would have made it, do you think it would have been a different fight, or has it given you more time to prepare, or?
He quite naturally gave you more time to prepare, but I don't think that was the issue. I don't think that was the issue at all.
So Vladimir was in peak condition, ready to fight on that night. Well, obviously he wasn't because he was injured. So
I don't think it was to throw him off or anything. I don't think it was just to give us the advantage to train longer. I just think it's just something that happens in training.
Okay. So how would you see the first?
Do I think that he did that to throw Tyson off or weight or anything? No, I don't think so. I just think something happened. He injured himself. Hey, it's time to go to work now.
But the rumors were it was not actually to do with the injury; it's more to do with his personal life.
Rumors.
So,
well, you got to dismiss them too. Act as though it's like it's an attorney and a judge. You got to dismiss the rumors.
That's why you got to come to the uncle to find out.
No grounds for those rumors.
Okay, cool. Got to ask you another question while we're here. Marius Vac versus Povetkin. Did you watch the fight?
I watched in and out. I didn't watch it all, but you watched the whole fight. What did you think?
Well, from round 1, I don't know what the jab was, because that was no jab that was with no intent, and he's putting the jab there like a rangefinder. At no point in time did he slam the right hand behind the jab. He was just putting it there. It was like in sparring partner mode, like he was just trying to survive.
I started out training WOC.
Yeah.
In New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Another Polish guy who used to be an ex-fighter came in, and it became a sort of like a competition. He wanted to train WOC. I was training WOC. He wanted to train WOC. I would tell WOC to do one thing. He would tell WOC to do another thing. So I went to WOC's people and asked them, well, what's happening? You guys hired me to do a job here. Who's this guy? Well, we want you guys to work together. I said, no. I don't work with nobody. I don't have to work with nobody. All right? At this stage of my boxing training career, I don't have to work with anybody. This guy, And I still don't know who he is, So they elected to go with the guy. So I said, fine, and I walked away from it. But I could tell you right now, he cannot compete at the top level with somebody that's getting on the job training. And as it turned out, you see what you just said? He's just using the jab not as a jab to inflict any punishment, but as a rangefinder. And then he never threw the right hand behind it.
There was
That
no
comes
rhythm, and it was almost like he said, you know what? I ain't coming to Russia. Well, I didn't think he'd come to Russia to win anyway. The fact he fight was in Russia, I said, no. There's too much on the line for Povetkin. He's not going to beat Povetkin. So he's coming here to make Povetkin look good. There's no way he's coming here to beat Povetkin. So forget that. Politics and money. No. Sorry, not happening. Secondly, then I said to myself, you know what? I saw the first round, saw the second round, this guy's got no intention whatsoever to try and knock Povetkin out. So this is going to go to points. I said Povetkin's working his body and head. Povetkin could get a late stoppage here because Povetkin, Vak for me was just like a walking punching bag that threw occasional jabs out. That's what he looked like to me. There was
Povetkin was just hitting him.
Yeah, Povetkin was just hitting him. So it was like jab, get inside, roll, throw body shots, throw head shots, sneak the uppercut inside, slip out, doing what he wanted to do. And then I heard at the end, I just got news come through, Vak fought for free tonight. Exactly. That's what I thought. He fought
What do you mean he fought? What do you mean he fought for free?
He fought for free because he had issues with his promoter. He had a falling out with his promoter, so he basically fought that fight for free. That's not good.
That's no good.
And against Povetkin, you're fighting for free. Yeah, right.
Well, like I said, I talked to the young man. I tried to tell him, I tried to point different things out to him about, his career and about what he was doing as a boxer and about his commitments to even at that time his promoter, because his promoter is the one that paid me. And, hey, all I can say is he bought it on himself. You box with in Russia for free. He must have been pretty enthusiastic about the fight going in. You know what I'm saying? Great, I'm getting nothing tonight.
I might get an L next to my name, a unanimous L. But he got stopped in the end. He got stopped on the last round.
You got stopped in the last round?
Yeah, on a cut.
Was it a punch?
Yeah, I think it was a punch, but... Listen, I'll just be quite brutally honest here. I just think that guys who go to Russia to fight Povetkin, they're not going to win. And even if they got with the intention to win...
I spoke to Hellenius not more than an hour ago, and he said that he wouldn't fight. He was offered to fight Povetkin in
Russia?
Russia. He said he turned it down. I said, you did a smart thing.
Of course. He might go with the intention to go to beat Povetkin. He gets to Russia, and then he discovers something else when he gets to Russia. Listen, this is the plan, my friend. This is what we're doing, and you're not a part of that plan. So just be a good little boy, take your licks, take your money, go home.
Right. Right.
And listen, I can't see Deontay Wilder going anywhere near Russia either.
No. He's going to have to unass that belt then, because it's a WBC number one contender.
He's got another voluntary coming up.
Who?
Deontay in January.
Well, how many voluntaries do he get? He's had 2 of them already. He's got to fight. How do you get another voluntary? You already had 2 voluntaries.
Well, it's the WBC voluntary belt, isn't it? Heavyweight title. And they... No. Alexander Povetkin is the number 1 contender. Yeah, he's the number 1 contender, but the fight will be somewhere in April or May, they're saying.
That's nonsense. You can't. How you have another voluntary? You had 2 of them already. You had the Mexican kid and the last French guy you had. That was voluntary. Now you have to come out and defend the title against the number 1 contender. That's what makes boxing. That's what makes boxing such a mockery. That's what makes it unbelievable to the outside viewer, you know. I mean, you got people here that got a title and they refuse to defend the titles.
It's disgusting, really, isn't it?
Yeah. He's got to defend against Alexander Povetkin. I'm sure that the WBC is going to force that now. Povetkin's people is going to make them force it. The Povetkin's people is not the kind of people you can push around. They're going to say, listen, by your rules, your own rules, you got to fight now.
Do you think Deontay wants the? Well,
Huh?
Does he want the fight? He don't look.
I don't think so. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it. I think Deontay needs more work before he fights a guy like Povetkin.
I thought, you know who I would have had a voluntary against? I did it on a show earlier on. I suggest Derek Chisora against Deontay Wilder as a warm up for Povetkin. What do you think?
They could do it, but they're gonna have to give Povetkin some step aside money to do so.
Well, he won't be ready in January.
Who?
Povetkin, he won't be ready in January.
Yeah, but they got to give him still. He's still the number one contender.
So payment will give him some step aside money then.
Yeah.
I would fight Derek Chisora.
Huh?
I'd fight Derek. If I were Wild, I'd fight Derek Chisora. Bring the belt to the UK and make a title defense in the UK. Nice pounds to make at Wembley.
Yeah. And Chisora's still fighting?
He is pulled away from Frank Warren now, I understand. Frank Warren no longer is promoting him. But that's of no surprise to me, because I knew that Derek was looking around for other options. He left his trainer Don Charles, and now is going to be no longer with Box Nation.
And so who's he going to go to?
Good question. And has he got anything left at the highest level?
Yeah, does he still want to do it?
That's the question. I mean, he looked horrendous against that last
Much lacking in the last fight.
He looked awful in that last fight. He looked terrible.
Oh, he fought since Tyson, right?
Yeah, he fought this guy. I can't remember what the guy's name is. It was the guy that. Okay, Dillian White sparked this guy out in 2 rounds. Derek went 10 rounds with him.
Yeah, that says a whole lot.
It was just
so maybe Derek done lost his mojo, you know.
It's terrible. I think now being a father's probably playing on Derek's head now. I think he's probably more wants to be a family man now. Maybe.
Yeah.
Some fighters, they get spurred on by that, and other people just think, you know what, I don't want this done. I just want to spend time with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to get out of bed no more. They've made enough money. You know. So I wouldn't blame him if that's the case. He's given us some good fights. I still think he was a very badly managed heavyweight. Very badly managed heavyweight.
Aside from what he was doing to himself.
When he was...
Aside from what he was doing to himself.
Yeah.
His life outside the ring.
Well, yeah. That doesn't help as well. But I think he was a badly managed heavyweight. I think that, his 14th fight, he had Fury. As a fight, I didn't think and he wasn't even in shape for that first fight. You know, or he was an injury or something, and then the second, then he went to fought. Well, he went to fought Helenius, another beaten tall guy, and then from Helenius he went and fought Vitaly Klitschko, and then from Vitaly Klitschko he went and fought David Hay. I mean, you know, it's pretty bad. Tell me what's going on with Usyk, by the way. How's Usyk? What's going on with him?
We're gonna fight. Usyk is gonna box. I was just looking at the guy when you called me. He's English. He's a British guy.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a British guy that we're gonna box.
Cruiserweight.
Yes. I
Okay.
was just looking at the guy when you called me.
Okay, I'll go for the British cruiserweights. I know. Orville McKenzie. Matty Haskins.
Is it Haskins?
Askins.
Askins, yeah.
Matty Askins.
Huh?
Matty Askins.
Askins, yeah, Matt Askins.
He's boxing him next.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Where's that fight?
In Ukraine.
Why him?
He's a live wire. The kid Askins look like he's a live wire. I don't know how good he is. I had a chance to look at him for a couple of rounds, and he looked pretty good.
This is a good fight for you guys.
Huh?
Good fight for you guys.
Yeah, I think so.
What's the date for that fight? Is it signed or is it still to be signed?
December 12th.
Whoa. Okay, that's an exclusive right there then.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to box Matt Askins.
So, in terms of Usyk, anything we should look forward to seeing this time for this fight? What are you looking to see from him from the last fight to this fight?
Better execution. I mean, the last two fights has been good execution, and I'd like to see him continue on with the progress that he's making with those executing his combinations, getting in and out without being hurt,
right?
Or, tagged anything. But this kid Askins is pretty quick.
So it's a good test.
Huh?
It's a good test.
Yeah, he comes to fight this kid Askins. We're the number one contender, so yeah, this is the kind of fight you want to take when you go into the title.
Wow, it's a big fight.
Yeah, Askins looks like a pretty tough contender.
Askins for, I think Orville McKenzie, did he? Did McKenzie stop Askins? I think Orville McKenzie stopped him late. McKenzie can punch though.
And McKenzie stopped him late?
I think so.
But Askins looked pretty good from what I saw. The couple of rounds I saw, he looked like a stand-up guy, like he can fight a little bit.
Yeah, he can punch a bit as well, I think.
Huh?
He can punch a bit as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's interesting. Very interesting news there. Very, very interesting news.
Our next opponent.
That's definitely your next opponent.
I'm like 85% sure that's going to be the guy.
Okay, well in that case, then I'm sure UA Boxing News would love to hear from you, hear that information. Sure, hopefully they'll transcribe another one of our interviews. Do you know when people love hearing from you, Uncle? They love to hear from you. They love to hear the wisdom that you speak about.
I like to be informative. I like the role of being a teacher in this sport because this sport lacks good, solid teachers. And I'll keep reiterating over and over again. The sport lacks sound teaching, sound knowledge. I see top fighters out there who have inept trainers, inept teachers, who don't really understand, or either they don't understand or either they don't know the proper application for the sport. So I like my role as a teacher. I like my role as a leader in the sport, I mean, there's so many people in the sport who I think are just front runners. I see that with this Timothy Bradley has extinguished his relationship with his Mr. Garcia and taken on Teddy Atlas. So in my mind, he just jumped out the frying pan into the fire. I don't think that Teddy Atlas is a good boxing trainer. Everybody else jumps on Teddy Atlas bandwagon. But when I'm looking for boxing training, I'm looking for everything. Sound advice, sound application, sound execution. I'm looking for these things in boxing training, and I don't get it. I don't get it, So he let Garcia go, and he took on Teddy Atlas as a trainer. And I respect Teddy Atlas' knowledge of the sport, but his execution is in the basement.
When you say he's in the basement, give me an example of something that, break it down.
I've been in different gyms with Teddy over the years.
Right.
Michael Grant, Kirk Johnson, Michael Moore. I've been in gyms the gyms while he was training these guys. Elvin Maricki. I think this guy was Roberto Salazar. I've been around him.
He was with Povetkin as well.
Povetkin, who's the Henry Mask. All of these people that have been with him, they was given to him. He didn't raise none of them. He had no history with none of them. They were given to him. Somebody said, go to Teddy. And Shannon Briggs, he's been with countless fighters. How many of the fighters stayed with him? Not one of them. Not one of them. Or within 2 or 3 fights. So that tells me something is wrong with the application. Something is wrong there. When the fighters come and go like that, there's something wrong.
Well, I think people go back to Michael Moorer when Michael Moorer was fighting Evander Holyfield for the title. And Teddy Atlas said those famous words, do you want me to get in there and fight for you? Fans see things like that and they kind of see that soundbite at that moment in time and kind of create that to be a whole boxing trainer. And that's not the case.
He sat on the stool in a critical fight.
Yes.
He sat on the stool. You got 1 minute. And he sat on the stool for at least 15 of those 1 minute. He sat on the stool in a critical fight. If that had been any other trainer, the media would have cut him the shreds. But it was Teddy Atlas. So it was okay because it was Teddy doing it. It was okay. Nobody said nothing about that. So I just think that Bradley made a mistake doing that.
I think it's Bradley's wife, not so much Bradley. That's what I'm understanding. It's his wife that made the decision, not him.
Yeah, I heard that his wife was making decisions. But he's the one that's fighting, so he should have, put on his drawers and said, I'm holding the balls here, and this is how we're going to do it. Teddy Atlas, I'm saying Teddy Atlas. Who was Teddy Atlas? Who is Teddy Atlas? What has he done? What contributions have he made to this sport?
Commentating. Analyst.
And he's been allowed for years to make mistakes even at the commentation. There's plenty of other guys out there who are much more qualified to be commentators and they're not getting called. Boxing is, like I said, boxing is a racist sport. There's a lot of racism in boxing. Put this out there, because I believe in my heart, boxing is as racist as anything I've ever seen. Because it's all right for one person to do something, white people to do something, and then if anybody else, Latino, Asian, Black, anybody else do it, they catch hell for doing it. You understand? Panama Lewis and Jose Resto was put out of boxing, completely annihilated. You're out of boxing. But Margarito could come in there and attempt to use those bricks in his hand against Shane Mosley and get a slap on the wrist and he's able to box again. Why? Why is it so different? It's who you know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times who you know. You got Teddy Atlas and you got Teddy Atlas. You've got Freddie Roach and countless other people.
What's this guy's name? BJ Flores?
BJ Flores, he's a commentator, but BJ Flores, he's justified for being there. I'm not upset with BJ in this position, but I'm just saying you take guys like Teddy Atlas and Freddie Roach for an example. These guys can say things and do things, and nobody questions it. Only because of the color of their skin. Only because of the color of their skin. A lot of this stuff is going on because the color of a person's skin. They are able to go places with words in the media where blacks can't go.
Give me another example, a current example, or something you've seen.
Well, like I say, you say things in the media. You say, all right, Cotto is going to do this to Alvarez or this or that. When black trainers do that, then they're criticized for it. They're trounced for it. You know what I'm saying? The least little thing that a black trainer does, the media will come down on them. You know what I'm saying? if a black trainer says anything bordering on racism, racial things, they'll come down on them for that. I remember Lou Duva got away with things in boxing years ago that a black man couldn't have got away with. Many things Lou Duva did, right down to the Meldrick Taylor fight, you know. They said Meldrick Taylor lost the fight. There was only 2 seconds going to fight. I said the 2 seconds didn't matter because Lou Duva came up on the ring apron. Lou Duva was on that ring apron when that fight was stopped. And they stopped the fight because Meldrick got knocked down, not because Duva was on that apron. And that was a long-standing rule. You can't be on the ring apron, you know. So, yeah, boxing is as racist as anything I've ever seen. I've been around the sport a long time, and I've seen racism. And then you'll have people say, no, it's not racism. Oh, but ask the people that's in it. Ask the people that's in it. The minorities.
I felt it. I've definitely felt it. I've definitely felt it.
Yeah, at every level I felt it. At every level I felt it. They come down on Don King for being a no good, dirty, so and so, so and so. Well, what about the other people that's no good, dirty, so and so, so and so? What about the things that Gary Shaw and Top Rank, you know, and other promotional agencies?
Bob Arum.
I've heard Lou DiBella. I've heard about, you know, different people in the sport. I've had different people complain to me about different things that happened that they felt was bordering on racism. You know, so yeah, I think boxing is as racist as any other organization out there. That certain people are allowed to get away with certain things because of the color of their skins. You understand? Everybody say this and that, this and that. Well, let's get Al Heyman, and they lost the suit against him. They joined forces and they lost the suit against him. Why? Because they said antitrust. You know, antitrust situation.
So they lost. What happens now? There's a Heyman countersue.
Pardon me?
Does Heyman countersue now?
I don't know. I don't think he's even interested in that. Heyman is making so much money and so much headway in the sport. He said get lost with that nonsense. I ain't got time for that. You know, then you get people like myself, like I told you at that little incident I had up there in Connecticut.
Yeah,
you know, this guy screaming across the room at me.
Get out of the way. He's
provoking this argument, but when I addressed the argument, I was the bad guy. And I said, oh, wait a minute. I wasn't the guy that was yelling out, screaming across the room, talking to people. If I yelled at you and said, hey, you, get out the way, that's disrespectful. He provoked this. But yet and still, the only person they came to was the black guy. It must be the black guy. There's 2 white men and 1 black guy, and that black guy has got to be the problem. It's got to be him. But in reality, it wasn't the black guy. It was the 2 white guys that provoked the thing, but everybody came to the black guy, even the other black people.
Yeah, listen, there's racism. There's definite racism in the sport. I felt it myself. I felt it, you know, and you know, it is what it is. But every time I look at, there's always there's an incident of racism or prejudice. With every one I get 5 of people that are doing something that's really positive and doing something good. You know?
Well, I'm my mother's child, and my mother always opposed racism wherever she found it at, and I took that from my mother. You know, if I see something that's wrong, that's not right, you know what I'm saying? It could be, you know, it could be a poor white person. I'm going to defend it.
If it's wrong, it's wrong.
I've seen poor whites get treated badly by other whites, and I defend that person. I have come to their aid to defend them. So, no, it's not right. This is not right. You shouldn't treat this person like that. And I'm thankful, you know, because of boxing, that I've traveled to many, many places in the world and have had the chance to see up close that every country is not like Britain and not like America. So I'm glad that I've been exposed to other countries where I don't feel as much racism. If there is racism, it's not as flagrant,
Overt.
overt as flagrant too as it is in America and Britain. You know what I'm saying? I've been to other places, Finland, Sweden, and different places like I did, where the people, it's not the same thing.
Really?
Where people just treat people like people. I've been to those places and I didn't feel that same racism.
What about Germany?
In Germany, you got small pockets of it, but still, it's not bad as America.
Really?
The ones I played, the places I've been in Germany.
Ukraine?
Huh?
What about the Ukraine?
No, I don't feel it in Ukraine. If it's there, like I said, if it's there, it must be in pockets because I've been all over the Ukraine. Lugansk, Odessa, Lviv, and I don't feel it.
What about when you're training? Do you ever feel it when you're in the gyms training? And
no, absolutely not. Absolute least place I feel is in the gym.
Really?
Yeah.
You say you experience more racism in your own home country than you do in Ukraine?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Yeah. When I'm in Ukraine, I feel like the people treat me like I'm a king.
But let me get something straight here. This is the same Ukraine that, they talk about the football hooliganism and all the racism and all the chanting and all this stuff and, monkey go home. The same Ukraine that you're saying is so beautiful. See, this is all, I don't know if it's media propaganda.
Like I said, racism is there probably, but it's in pockets. It's not across the board. All of the people don't feel that way, You got hooligans and idiots in every culture.
Of course you do.
That would say that, that they call a person an animal or call them a monkey or something like that. Those are people that's insecure about themselves, Yeah. Their genitals are probably little and they had to do something derogatory to hurt a black man, They probably got little toy genitals and they get upset about black men having earthly genitals. And they get upset, so they got to say something derogatory to tear us down and make us small until the light shines on our genitals, and they say, "Oh God, these guys are huge." They're massive. What they would say, they're massive. I'm saying that people different. I mean, we're hated. The black man is hated all over the world. And if you ask the people why you hate the black man, they can't tell you. They can't tell you. If you say, why do you hate them so much? They can't tell you, I hate them because of this or that. One of the things is I'm certain they hate us because of our physical prowess. They hate us because of our physical prowess, because God endowed us with different attributes, different physical attributes that most people don't have. And they hate us for that, In America, everything that they did going back to the time of slavery, they had to always involve our genitals in it, castrating us and stuffing our genitals down our throats and stuff like that. What was that about? That tells the story itself. Everything they did when they caught the slaves that revolted, they wanted to castrate them and cut their genitals off and shove them down their throats and stuff. What was that about? Because they hated our strengths. And in America and in Britain, when a black man stands up and say, "Hey, this is not right. This is racism," you're an outcast. I remember when Obama won the presidency in the United States, there was a reporter, an American reporter that was in Britain, and the reporter asked the white guy, was somebody that was in Parliament somewhere there. The sister, they said, "Well, could this conceivably happen here in Britain?" And the guy started laughing and said, "That's never going to happen in Britain." He said, "Pardon me?" He said that's never going to happen in Britain.
That's right.
He said that. He said, pardon me? He said, that's never going to happen in Britain. Not a chance. And he was laughing when he said it. That's never going to happen. You understand? So they got a dynasty going on with this Queen Elizabeth, Prince Charles, and all these guys, and Prince Harry. And Prince Harry's son is going to run this thing. And then Prince Harry's daughter, whoever's going to be the princess, and so on and so on. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. And nobody else is going to get in on that, which I think is a bunch of bullshit. It's bullshit, where one family goes on for 100,000 years, and they're going to run. This is we running this thing. Buckingham Palace and all that dear stuff. Like some fairy tale or something. It's racism. It's bullshit. And there are those who think that Princess Di was killed because she was with the Arab.
That's what a lot of people believe.
Yeah, I'm one of them. Some Arab going to come in and change the bloodline. Oh, no.
Can't have that.
Can't
have that.
Yeah. I mean, no.
And a Muslim?
Yeah.
Can't have that.
He's going to go up in her. She's going to be impregnated by an Arab. Oh, no. We'll kill you, bitch. We'll kill you. Racism. I always felt that racism was part of it. I always thought that was an assassination. I always felt that was an assassination. When she got with that Arab guy, and they said, no, we can't have Prince Harry and his brother being brothers or sisters with an Arab. You understand? No, that's not going to happen. We'll kill you first. And the same thing would happen in America. The same thing would happen in America.
You see the girl that got slammed, that got pulled out by the cop and slammed on the floor?
Yeah, and right now, videos are popping up all over the tube. Videos are popping up about rebellious white kids being rebellious in the classroom to their teachers, which was far worse than what that girl did. Right now on Facebook, there are at least 3 stories where rebellious kids are disrespectful to the teacher who happen to be white, and nobody even calls the cops. So yeah, racism was a big part of what he did there. And you could see the hate and anger when he threw that girl across the room like that. He was angry. And so to say, nigga, you would talk to me like that there? And he threw her across the room. He threw her. That guy was 300 pounds. That guy was 6'6". That was a young girl. That guy was 6'6", 300 pounds. Did you see how he threw it? How he threw it like a rag doll? He threw her. And he threw her with disdain and anger. I'm angry, and I'm letting you know I'm angry with my actions. I'm angry. You dare talk to me like that. And now, if you go to Facebook right now, you'll find at least 3 incidents on there where white kids are being far more disrespectful than that young girl was.
It just seems to me that they're just trying to, some sort of agenda's going on to try and push some sort of, I don't know, real hatred to one colour, race war. That's what they're trying to push, the agenda of a race war. So it escalates to the point where...
Yeah, because it's money. It's money. There's some power that be at the top that's seeking to make money on a race war. Everything goes up. Everything costs more, housing, food, everything is food is scarce, water is scarce, we got to do this, we got to do that. A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Weapons are going to be sold. So it's big money behind that, Of course. They're doing everything they can in America, I know, to create a race war.
Of course. It's not on. It's not right.
I'm just not one of those guys. I'm not one of those guys to look the other way in the face of racism. Nat Turner, Harriet Tubman, Martin King, Malcolm, none of those guys turned their backs when it came to race frisbee, and I'm not doing it either.
It would be
If it
great to
cost,
see, it would be
if
great
it
for you.
cost me, huh?
It would be great for you to see you working with some of the Latino community and some of the black communities, some of those coaches, and bringing them together and working with those coaches and educating them and giving them your knowledge, because they'd appreciate you. I mean, sure, there'll be white coaches that would appreciate you, but in terms of
It's
the neglected communities, it'd be great to see you doing stuff with them.
oh, there's so much envy. There's so much envy and jealousy amongst our people, and this comes from the act of slavery itself.
Of course, absolutely.
We have become haters of self, and that's why I elect to remove myself from the American scene. You know, I can't do nothing with you. Okay, then I get on the road. I take my show on the road where I'm appreciated. You know, I take my show on the road where I'm appreciated. Everybody thinks that they're a boxing trainer. Everybody is a boxing teacher. Everybody can teach somebody how to box. I mean, so
But
many
now,
boxing.
here's
Everybody thinks that they can, and they're doing it wrong. So I
here's
said,
the
look what I'm going to do.
here's the situation I got now, Uncle. I want to develop my boxing training. I want to learn more about the trade and like to be a proper coach. And I have to go through. I have to wait for some person to give me the okay so I can go on a course and study. I can't just go out and do it. I have to wait for somebody to give me the okay so that I can do it.
What do you mean, from the state?
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. And I think to myself, you know what? As soon as I can get a chance, I want to come out, watch you do your training, watch how you train, and learn from you. You know, learn from good trainers, learn from great trainers. That's how you learn.
My training style is unique. All right. I see people who've trained in the same gyms with me right alongside me. You think that they would adapt some of what I teach boxers. You think that they would come to me and inquire as to why I do this or why I did that or why would I do this or why would I tell a boxer that? You think that they would do that? No.
Do you know why? Because they're brainwashed into thinking the television. If somebody on the TV says Bashir's the best trainer in the world, then they'll all come around you and swarm like you, like bees to honey. But because they're not saying Bashir's the best trainer in the world, and it's not said by somebody at ESPN or HBO or PBC or Showtime, because that's not being said, because you're not every week on there, doing an analyst. Why are you not used as an analyst?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, check that out.
If you look at the PBC, Fox, NBC, Bounce, Spike, all of these shows. Look at this here. I'm going to show you something. You notice that the interviewers now are white girls. All of them are white girls, and none of them have a history in being in the sport, but all of the interviewers now are white girls. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
They're giving those jobs to white girls who don't have no knowledge or no history of the sport, and they are the ones that's going up to the fighters, interviewing them before they go in the ring, after they go in the ring. It's a bunch of white girls. It's at least 3 or 4 white girls that I've seen. One of them that's even working with Sugar Ray Leonard and the other kid, you just said his name.
BJ Flores.
BJ Flores is a girl working with them. It's a girl on PBS, a girl on NBC. All of them white.
There's a Latino girl on there as well. I think Latino.
Right. But they don't have no history in the sport.
No, they don't.
They don't have no history in the sport. But yet and still, they've been given these jobs, making God knows how much per segment.
So what happened to Layla Ali?
She was working there, but I don't know what happened to her. I don't know what happened to Layla.
I think it's great to have Layla Ali in there talking about boxing.
Right, because she's been a boxer. Even the girl I can respect her being there more. Because it's good for the sport. They have people who participate in the sport there doing the interviews. But they have these nondescript white girls there they're giving the jobs to them, you know? And I have no problem with it. Ronda Rousey is a white girl, but she's good at what she does, and I like her. She's qualified. My problem is not the color of the skin. My problem is
the substance of what you have.
Yeah, I mean, you got people here that don't have no history in the sport. Why are they there? But the people who make the decisions, they put them in there and stuff them down the throats of the interviewers, of the people that's watching the shows. So racism is alive and well in the sport of boxing. It's not going away.
One girl I do respect, Christina Poucher.
I don't know.
Top Rank. She does all the big interviews at Top Rank.
Yeah, but still, she ain't got no history in the sport still. So you can respect her, but she ain't got no history in the sport. This is a position that she's been made to be comfortable in because she was given to her by somebody white. We're gonna put Christina in there. We're the boss, and that's what it is. And not one, and I don't see none of these girls outside of Layla Ali is black. You know, so I had a reporter call me the other day, and Tim Smith was writing for the Daily News. This other guy, Chris Thorne, and another Chris Workman, they was writing for the New Jersey Star Ledger. And he called me up and said, man, they pushed all of us out of the business. None of us in the boxing business no more. None of us work for those newspapers no more. They fired us. Two of the guys been picked up by Al Heyman, but you know, you got 3 or 4 other black guys out there that was boxing writers in that eastern United States that's out of jobs. And the guy explicitly said they're pushing us out of the sport. They're pushing us out. So he wants to start doing some freelance on himself. He wants to be an advisor, come in and work as an advisor or PR person. So I'm trying to hook him up with different boxes and stuff, you know? Yeah, man.
I would say build your own, do your own, and build your own. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Build your own.
Yeah. Of course.
Build your own.
You have to. You see precision craft boxing. I've struggled and toiled with precision craft boxing because nobody believes in a dream until the dream takes flight. Nobody believes in your dream until it takes flight. I've struggled and toiled with precision craft boxing for years, just trying to keep it afloat. But it's difficult because you have to spend your own money. You understand? You have no sponsors or nothing. And just to keep it afloat, I'm paying the taxes on it just to have the name, you know, and nobody else can take the name. So, yeah, it's tough. But I refuse to be stopped or changed. I'm going to keep doing it until I can't do it no more. You know, the one of the biggest things that aids racism is when we don't have any unity. You know what I'm saying? I see countless blacks across the states. You can't unify them with a gun. You can't get them to get unity with a gun. You know what I'm saying? They hate you for being successful. And that's part of the plan of the slave master, to make them make us hate each other, you know?
Covering the microphone, I can hear you.
I said it's part of the slave master's plan to make us hate each other so we can't get nothing done. You know, you can't tell, man, black people is something in America. Oh, man, it's just terrible. 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 You can't get nothing done with them.
Really?
No, you can't get nothing done. And I'm hated, man. I'm hated. And you ask why they hate me, they hate me because I'm successful.
They hate you because you speak up.
Yeah.
There's a big thing about Don Lemon at the moment. Don Lemon, his name is?
Yeah, Bitchy Lemon. Miss Bitchy. They call him Miss Thing. They call Don Lemon Miss Thing.
They're saying that he needs to come off of prime time. Him and that woman, what's her name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The one
Raven.
Yeah. Yeah. Raven and Don Lemon.
I think these people are paid to be the way that they are, you know. Convinced.
Oh, I really don't like Raven. Raven is a sickening person to me. I don't like her.
I used to like her when she was younger, but
She's a cold-blooded Tom. Cold-blooded Tom. I don't like her. Nobody likes her. Nobody likes her. You know, Raven, her, and this other bird that's running for the president.
oh, Clinton.
Carson.
Oh, Carson.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, he's terrible. He's terrible, you know.